Hello aspirants, you're hearing to the aspirant voice. In this video, we are going to discuss about GST compensation regime. Before getting into the video, this is the main SMAP initiative by the aspirant voice. If you do like my series, please like, subscribe, and of course share to your friends. Press the bell icon for the updates. Let's understand GST compensation regime in a proper note way. And here, as I said you in the previous video, I'm mentioning some important parts in the description, and these points will be explained on the video. So please pay your attention and let's understand this concept. This current affair. Recently, the GST compensation, many states have called for the regime to be extended for another 5 years. This, in addition, states have called the union government's share of the centrally funded programs to be increased. And also, these demands are made because the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted the revenues of the states, and the regulation of GST remuneration ends in the June 2022. So that's the context. Now let's understand some important topics. What is GST taxation? Basically, this is a merged variety of central plus state tax, that is into single tax. And famously, one nation one tax. Now let's understand what is GST remuneration. In theory, GST should generate as much income as the previous tax system, and the new tax system will be taxed on consumption instead of production. It is taxed on consumption instead of production. So instead of production, it will tax on consumption. And this means that no taxes are levied at the place of production, and which also means that the manufacturing states would lose, and therefore several states vehemently reject the idea of GST. And to appease these conditions, the idea of compensation, that is compensation, has been introduced and discussed. And the center promised the states compensation for any tax losses due to GST implementation, that is for 5 years. And also, the promise convinced many reluctant states to join the new indirect taxation system. Now let's understand the compensation payment, how it worked and how it will work. For the first 5 years, that is from the year until 2022, by the year end of 2022, the states are guaranteed compensation for any loss of income loss of income below 14%, and the base year taken here is 2015-16. So this is the base year. So 14%, if at all the loss of income is there, then it happens. And also, the center pays GST remuneration for every 2 months to the states, and this is as the compensation fund. And the compensation was set out in the GST Compensation to States Act 2017. And all taxpayers, except those exporting certain declared goods and those who have opted for the GST compensation system, must collect the GST compensation payment and transfer it to the central government. Now let's discuss the settlement fund. Sorry, this is a typo mistake. So settlement fund. The GST Act provides that the collected donations and the amount recommended by the GST Council are credited to these settlement funds. These funds are created for every state. Not state, it is a settlement fund created and it will be dispersed to every state. Now let's understand what are the concerns of the state for GST to be implemented, and what is the reason behind this particular compensation, and also the regime, I mean extension of this regime, and so on. The first one is loss of revenue. The state's GST revenue gap is projected to be around 3 lakh crores, 3 lakh crore for the year 2020-21, while the cess collections are only expected to reach 65,000 crores, which is a shortfall of 2.35 lakh crores. So you understand that. Let me write in this way. Let me write it. Projection 3 lakhs crores, but you know the cess collections expected to reach is just 65 lakh, sorry, I'm really sorry, 65,000 crores. So now the shortfall is 2.35 lakh crores. So this is the shortfall. So this loss of revenue is the major concern for the states. The economic slowdown, that is, at a time of sluggish growth, delays in paying compensation to states guaranteed by the GST Act, you know, that one actually make it difficult to manage the finances of the states. Now let's understand the decentralizations of centers. And again, one more type of mistake, decentralization of centers. So most states consider that the center's share of centrally funded program has gradually decreased and the state's share has been increased. So the share for the welfare schemes, I'm sorry, welfare schemes has been raised. Because of this, their primary demand is an increasing proportion of centrally funded programs. Now let's understand the GST replacing the VAT. The GST has subsumed indirect taxes such as consumption tax, value added tax, service tax, luxury tax, etc. It is essentially a consumption tax and is levied at end use. That is, as I said you, the GST is taxed from the consumer end, not at the producer end. This has helped alleviate double taxation and the cascading effect of taxes, tax diversity. So double taxation, cascading effect of cascading effect, and also tax diversity, also the classification problems, and has resulted in a common national market. The value added tax that a trader charges for purchasing goods or services. So now the credit tax is known as input tax credit, and the GST avoids the cascading effect or taxation that increases the tax burden on the end user. Now let's understand the tax structure according to GST that is currently following. So the central GST is to cover the excess duties and service taxes. It includes the GST to exclude sales tax, luxury tax, etc. And integrated GST, that is IGST, is to cover international trade. And IGST per se is not a tax but a system for coordinating the taxes of states and trade unions. And also it has 4-tier tax structure with the slabs of 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%. This is all about GST compensation regime and the current affair and the conflict behind it. Just in case in your examination, it may be possible that the question may ask regarding this issue because it's a pretty long term issue by now, and also the compensation regime is coming to the end, that is in the year June 2022. So this could be important, and I hope you make this mind map on your notes and you will memorize this topic. I hope you do like this video. If you do like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Also, hit the bell icon. Thank you.